The controversy began in August of 2022 when I came upon an incident over here at the park where 100-year-old trees had been cut down without public approval, etc. And at a meeting that followed regarding that, as I was leaving the room, they said, "Oh, and the plans are going well for the removal of the bridge." And I stopped and said, "What are you talking about?" And that's when it began.
It's 118 years old, 262 feet long, a beloved backdrop for brides, babies, and one year at Bonnaroo, even the Beastie Boys.
If you're looking at any metal truss bridge, look at the portal entrance and see what kind of decorations they have. That's a good indicator of who would have built this bridge. The decorations on this old stone fort bridge, they used a punch press, which in bridge construction is unheard of. It doesn't make any sense.
But the Nashville Bridge Company used that sort of press when it started building ships.
You can see the rosettes. There's like kind of the four rosettes. And we only found evidence of maybe 2 or 3 other bridges that have those rosettes. This may be the last bridge from the Nashville Bridge Company in existence.
Plenty good shape where I come from. I mean, they wouldn't even maintenance these. They'd let you drive on it for another 10, 15 years. This is in real good shape.
But the state disagrees, and the wheels are in motion to remove and replace the Green Bridge.
It has become unbelievable in its complexity and its incompetence and its disingenuousness about what's going on with this bridge. They never let the public know until I continued to push them on it, and they let us know in the form of a newspaper notice, January 18th of 2023, which was 3 years late. A one-day publication, and it said you've got 2 weeks to respond with comments. And you couldn't barely see it without a magnifying glass, and at the end of the 2 weeks, they've announced in one of their documents, "Oh gosh, we got no comments." Really? I had already collected hundreds and hundreds of pages of documentation, and I had found repeatedly that they did not either follow the letter of the law, they had misrepresented the facts.
The preservation group found what it calls incorrectly inflated numbers in a memo from the government, schematics showing concrete on the bridge where there is none, and a quick and dramatic drop in the bridge's safety score.
They said this bridge was now closed to pedestrians. The sign out there is very clear. It's been there from day one. They just went on and said there were no alternatives. We have a brand new entrance over there off of a main road. If that's not an alternative to spending $8 or $10 million, I don't know what is.
I like to characterize it as infinitely repairable.
In fact, it's been taken apart before. Crews actually moved this bridge here from Franklin County in 1972. There was significant work done in 2009. Yet the most recent state inspection report 3 months ago called the bridge critical, mainly because of defects in what are called the floor beams. But the citizen group hired their own expert.
We came up with 2 options. One was to repair the floor beams, but because these were kind of a point of contention, we also put in an option to replace them. The interesting thing to note about that is we don't believe that that was due to any overloading on the bridge. The evidence that we saw did seem to lend itself to being maybe during that relocation in 1970, maybe they were a little bit rough with the beams, maybe they dragged the beams. There's all kinds of things that you can get the kind of damage that we saw, but if a structure was overloaded and the beam was bending because of this overloading or had a shear problem because of this overloading, we would have expected to see different mechanisms of failure than we saw on the bridge.
The engineering firm that we hired, they
They said that for $3,200 they can fix what the state said was wrong with it. For $560,000 they can add a whole shopping list for us of things that will improve the bridge and say it's good for another 75 or 100 years. And even if you took contingency fees and inflation and everything you can think of, they said the top number might be $762,000 or something like that.
Versus
8 or 10 million bucks for something not needed.
It might be 99.99% in support of leaving this bridge just as it is.
the state now says it will save the bridge and relocate it elsewhere in the park as a scenic overlook. But any plan, be it to build or relocate, will disturb the Duck River.
There's only 9 miles of it above us that is unmolested by humans. The pristine conditions of this water changes just a few hundred yards downstream. Yeah, it's named one of the most diverse rivers on the face of the earth, if you really want to get technical.
You know, you have the Nashville Bridge Company, a very small company in a window of time, something that is native to Tennessee. And you'll have the generations that come behind us or come following us, you'll be able to see something that was local, and they'll be able to say, you know, this is my history.